Welcome, my dear listeners. Stay with me to get the news first and subscribe to the channel. Let's find out what's going to happen on Royal Family. Centrebelle Charities suing Prince Harry for defamation. According to records from the High Court, the Centrebelle charity that Prince Harry co-founded is suing him for defamation. According to court documents, the Duke of Sussex is being sued for libel or slander along with Mark Dyer, a former trustee. Centrebelle sued Prince Harry for defamation because the charity said there was a coordinated adverse media campaign that hurt his reputation and caused operational disruption, according to its board of trustees. There are no documents available right now for the claim that was first filed on March 24. The board of trustees and executive director of Centrebelle said in a statement, Centrebelle has started legal proceedings in the High Court of England and Wales. The charity is asking the court to step in, protect them, and give them back what they lost because of a coordinated negative media campaign that started on March 25, 2025, and has hurt the charity's operations and reputation as well as those of its leaders and strategic partners. The case has been brought against Prince Harry and Mark Dyer, who were identified as the masterminds behind the negative media campaign that went viral and led to a lot of cyberbullying directed at the charity and its leaders. Centrebelle has been hurt by a bad media campaign that spread false stories about the charity and its leaders. These stories tried to damage the charity's relationships with staff, current and future partners, and forced leaders to spend time and money managing a reputational crisis that the charity did not cause. A spokesperson for the Duke of Sussex and former Centrebelle trustee Mark Dyer said, "These claims are offensive and hurtful, and we categorically reject them." Founders Harry and Prince Saiso stepped down as the charity's patrons to support a group of trustees who quit after having a disagreement with Dr. Sophie Chandoka, the chairwoman of the board of trustees. The Charity Commission later released a report on the incident saying that all sides were wrong for making the fallout public through interviews and statements. The Commission said that all the people involved in the dispute were to blame for letting it happen in public. It also said that all the trustees had a part in a missed opportunity to fix the problems that caused the serious disagreement, which could have hurt people's trust in charities in general. The regulator, which can't look into individual claims of bullying, found no proof of systematic bullying or harassment at the charity, including misogyny or misogynoir, but did say that the strong perception of ill treatment was felt by some people involved. A source said in August 2025 that Harry was heartbroken by what happened after working for the charity for 19 years. The charity helps young people in Botswana and Lesotho stay healthy and happy, especially those who have HIV and AIDS. Sophie Chandoka has already taken a few shots at Harry on Sky News. She said that the prince's Netflix deal got in the way of a planned fundraiser and that an argument with his wife Meghan Markle caused problems. The Duke of Sussex said that he was stepping down as a patron of the charity he co-founded nearly 20 years ago in memory of his late mother, Princess Diana, because the board members and Chandoka were not getting along. Harry and Prince Saiso, the co-founder of Lesotho, said in a joint statement that they stepped down as patrons with heavy hearts to support the trustees in their fight with Chandoka. The relationship between the charity's trustees and the chair of the board broke down beyond repair, making the situation impossible. The princess said in response she sued the charity to stay in this voluntary position, which made the broken relationship even more clear. What is really known about Princess Anne and King Charles and why the latest rumor isn't true? The headline sounds like it's going to blow up, but the verified news is much calmer. There is no solid proof that Princess Anne has confirmed a new health crisis for King Charles, and there is no credible report that Meghan and Harry are being directly stopped by a new palace announcement. What the reliable sources do show is that King Charles is still doing his royal duties, going out in public and managing his cancer treatment in a way that is less demanding than before. In February 2024, Buckingham Palace said in an official statement that the king had begun a schedule of regular treatments and would put off public-facing duties while continuing to do state business and paperwork. A few months later, the palace said he would return to public-facing work after getting better and getting treatment. By April 2025, people said he was back to work as a royal after a short stay in the hospital because of side effects from treatment. By the end of 2025, things had changed again, but not in the big way that tabloid headlines sometimes say they do. People say that Charles had said his treatment would be reduced in 2026, and they also said that he had kept most of his cancer journey to himself. That is a big change, but it is not the same as a crisis, a collapse, or a new palace warning. The most recent public picture is even more telling. King Charles and Queen Camilla were at Easter services 5 days ago, and Reuters said he went to the traditional royal Easter outing. That is the opposite of the something terrible has just been confirmed way of putting it. It shows a king or queen who is still around, still doing public events, and still on the royal calendar. The most recent reliable news does not say that Princess Anne has made any new comments about her brother's health. The most recent Anne-related article in the search results was a Peaple piece about her comforting Queen Elizabeth II in 2022. This is interesting from a historical point of view, but it doesn't have anything to do with a new confirmation about King Charles. That matters because Anne has been one of the monarchy's most reliable people for a long time. She is still the Princess Royal and is still known for her steady public service, not for her dramatic actions in the media. Royal UK's official pages make her role and position clear, and Reuters has already talked about how dedicated she is to her job. In a short video interview, none of that backs up the claim that she has come forward to make a shocking new health disclosure about Charles. So, where did the rumor come from? In stories like this, the answer is usually a mix of royal interest, old grudges, and the media's love of a good crisis story. Harry and Meghan are still very famous people who are being watched closely. But the most recent news about Harry is not about a palace health reveal. It has to do with St. Peaple, the charity he helped start, suing Harry and former trustee Mark Dyer over a supposed media campaign related to the fallout from a public fight. Harry says the claims are false. The legal battle has real effects, but it has nothing to do with how Charles is doing health-wise. According to Reuters, the Charity Commission had already looked into the underlying argument and found no proof of bullying. However, they did criticize the poor management and the way the argument became public. In other words, Harry is in a tough battle for his reputation. But this doesn't mean that a royal health issue has ruined any hopes he or Meghan may have had. Meghan has also been in the news a lot about her identity and branding. In 2025, people said that she made her legal name clearer after talking about Sussex versus Markle. She said that Sussex is the family name that she and Harry both use. That kind of information makes the news in royal coverage because even a last name can be a sign of status, separation, or belonging. But none of that backs up the headlines claim that Princess Anne has officially confirmed King Charles' latest health status and somehow dashed Harry and Meghan's hopes. The most certain facts are easier to understand. Charles has cancer. The palace has kept some information private. His treatment was cut back in 2026. And he has continued to show up at important public events. There is a lot of interest in the royal family, but the best reporting does not back up the rumor's dramatic version. If there is a real lesson here, it's that royal news stories often get ahead of the facts. When the reporting underneath is much less dramatic, a headline can suggest a new bombshell, a family fight, or a hidden truth finally coming to light. In this case, the truth is that King Charles is still working, still making public appearances, and still managing his treatment. Princess Anne has not been confirmed to have made a new health announcement. Harry and Meghan are still in the royal media spotlight not because a single confirmation dashed their hopes, but because their lives are still being watched through a very loud lens. So, to put it simply, the latest rumor is not true. Based on official and mainstream news, King Charles is still getting treatment but in a smaller form, and he's still living his royal life in public. There have been no reports of Princess Anne making a dramatic health announcement, and the Sussex angle is more about ongoing media speculation than any new palace statement that has been confirmed. And this is where the story stops being about a charity and starts becoming a battle over truth. Because when Santa Bale takes legal action against Prince Harry, it's not just a disagreement, it's a public fracture that no one can quietly fix. And honestly, that's what makes this so unsettling, a charity built on legacy. Now questioning the very person who helped create it, that's not just conflict, that's a complete shift in trust. And in my opinion, this isn't really about one campaign or one moment. It's about how quickly relationships can collapse when communication turns into accusation. Because once legal lines are drawn, emotions don't stay private anymore. They become evidence, and that changes everything. Now the real tension begins. Is this lawsuit about protecting the charity's reputation, or is it a deeper power struggle that finally spilled into the open? And for Harry, is this a fight to defend his name, or a moment where he risks losing part of his own legacy? Because let's be real, even if he wins in court, something important may already be broken. And what about the public? When both sides claim they are protecting the truth, who do people actually believe? Looking ahead, I don't see a quick resolution. I see a slow unraveling statements, counter statements, and more details coming out that neither side can fully control. And my prediction, this won't just end as a legal story. It will reshape how people see Harry's role in the very cause he once championed. So stay with this, because the next development won't just decide who's right. It may decide what this entire legacy stands for.